How we doing, boys? Just got back from the gym. It's extremely early right now. Usually I'm up this early because I haven't went to sleep yet. It's exactly 7 a.m. But the reason I'm up this early is because I was just recently in Europe. I got back in yesterday and the time change actually helped my sleep schedule because of how messed up it was. It's got me like Ashton Hall. I was up at 5 a.m. locked in. But the reason I made this video is because I want to go over some of the things I reflected on while I was in Europe. These videos have been crushing it. You guys have been loving these, where basically I just come on here, no script, and kind of give you guys all the lessons I can, whatever comes to mind, on every single thing I've learned going from zero to a millionaire at 19 years old. So I spent the last week in Europe. I think it was 8 days total. I flew into Rome, spent 4 nights there with my boy Smith Reese. You guys might know him. And then after that, we flew to Paris, spent 3 nights there, and then I took the train to England. I was in London for 1 night and then flew out of London yesterday morning all the way to Miami. So across Europe, it was absolutely beautiful. And there's a lot of differences between Europe and between the US. And when you're there, I've been to Europe 4 times now, when you're in Europe, you really appreciate life. And I noticed that, right? Because I'm not one to be, impressed by little things. I'm not really impressed by like, oh my God, we're on a vacation, we're here, like whatever. I don't really care that much. But there's something about being in Europe where you really appreciate life. And I think it's just the whole vibe overall. People aren't so fixated on work. People aren't, hustle, bustle, go all the time. People are a lot more relaxed. People talk a lot more with their friends. They're more family oriented. They enjoy their time more, and they really just appreciate life. When you're in the US, right, I'm in Miami, I'm in the gauntlet of all gauntlets when it comes to US cities. You get so focused on work and just hustle and just locking in, which is a good thing. Miami, all these cities, whether you're going to Austin, Texas, probably LA still, NYC for sure, you're going to have a lot of growth, right? Because naturally, when you see people around you who are crushing it, you're going to want to compete and rise to that level. So that's why it's so valuable to be in an environment like this, and I advocate for it. Like, Miami has changed my life. Being around people with money all the time definitely keeps me motivated and keeps me going harder than if I was just in some random place. But it can also mess up with your mental state, because you need a strong mental state to live somewhere that's highly competitive. Because if you see a Bugatti on the street, like I see relatively often, probably twice a week here in Miami, there's like 5 different guys with them. There's a few different reactions you can have. You can A, be like, wow, this guy got lucky, he's a drug dealer, he probably does this, whatever, he doesn't deserve that, or it's daddy's money, whatever. Or you can say, wow, this guy really has a $5 million car and I barely have any money. I should take inspiration from that, and that should motivate me, piss me off and motivate me. So there's 2 different types of people, and if you're the type of person who was the first person I listed who hates on rich people, then you shouldn't be in a competitive environment, and becoming successful probably isn't meant for you. Because I made a video on this the other day, and there's actually neuroscience that backs why hating will keep you poor. So basically, in a gist, because I could talk about this forever, your brain is a big safety mechanism. Your brain, is only trying to protect you. You could cut off your pinky finger, like bite it off as if it was a carrot right now, but your brain won't let you, because why would you do that, right? So your brain's just for safety. This is why humans, us people, tend to always look at, what if things go wrong, rather than what if things go right, because your brain is trying to protect you, and it's the people that can basically override that, that are going to become successful. But back to why hating keeps you poor. So if your brain is a big safety mechanism, right? Say you look at someone who's rich, right? You watch my content, you watch anyone else's content, and you're like, you know what? This guy got lucky. This guy's a bad person. This guy's unethical. He doesn't deserve to have money. Your brain is going to be like, okay, this person is rich, this person is bad, we don't want to be rich, because if we become rich, you watching this, then other people will judge us and other people will call us bad. So how you look at other people who are in a position you want to be, or in any other position, is how your brain is going to view it if you were there. So if you are looking at a rich person and you're like, you know what, that guy's killing it, that guy's crushing it, he's probably so fulfilled in life, good for him, he has freedom, he has this, he has that, then your brain is going to be like, okay, being rich is a positive thing. Being rich is something we want. Let us get there. And you may think this is airy-fairy. You may think it's stupid. Like, why does it matter what you think? But every single thing stems from your thoughts. for example, even if you don't believe in the law of attraction, even though it's 100% real and all these things, just for example, to break down this point, if I told you, how many red cars did you see today? You've probably heard this before. You're going to be like, what? I don't know. How many red cars have I seen? Why would I know that? But if I tell you, count the next 10 red cars and I'll give you $1,000, you're going to count those 10 red cars fast, right? And it's the same thing when your brain is fixated on being rich. You're naturally going to find opportunities to get paid, find opportunities to grow as a person and as an entrepreneur. So if you're fixated on that, it's going to be like, boom, this is a way I can make money, this is how I can make money, boom, 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 boom. Where if you're fixated on the bad things and you're just a negative person overall, it's the same thing. This is going wrong, this is going wrong, this is going wrong. And if you identify as a negative person, if you identify as a loser, if you identify as someone who, isn't successful, is lazy, your brain is going to make that into a reality. You're going to start acting like that more and more and more. So I think more people, I know for a fact, you need to be more, conscious on what you say to yourself, because it's extremely important. Whatever you identify as is going to come true. Whatever you tell yourself is true is going to become true. So if you tell yourself you're hardworking, if you tell yourself you're ambitious, you tell yourself you're going to win, you're going to win, you're going to win, your brain and the universe is going to make that a reality sooner than later. There's a reason every single successful person ever didn't do it by accident. Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor, John Jones, they were all saying years and years and years before they actually did it that they were going to be champ. Why? Because they had such a strong vision in their head that they knew it was going to be possible. So I'm not going to spend this video talking about the law of attraction. My last video was on that, where I yapped about that for about 30 minutes. It's very valuable. You guys can watch that if you want. But basically, in a gist, you need to act as the person you want to become. And this ties into the actual science that's been proven about our neuroscience on our brains. It's a safety mechanism. So if you look at a rich person, you're like, you know what, that guy sucks, that guy's a bad person. Your brain's going to be like, okay, cool, we don't want to be rich, we're going to be poor, because people won't judge us if we're poor. We're going to be, with the rest of the pack. So you need to stop hating on rich people, and you need to start taking inspiration from people where you want to be, instead of getting salty and being jealous like you're a 10-year-old kid. That is when you're going to start to grow, and that's when you're going to start to actually have a reality closer to, the person you're trying to become, the person you're looking at that you were hating on, but now you're taking inspiration from. So people are fixated on the better things in Europe. Let's get back to, the point of this video. So people are fixated on life, right? They just enjoy life more. It's more of a positive vibe. They're not comparing themselves to people 24/7. They just want to sit, have a cigar, have a coffee at a cafe, and it makes them fulfilled. And it's honestly beautiful. So what I was saying about, living in Miami, you got to be someone who's, ready to look at other people and be like, okay, I can get there, instead of hating. That's great, right? You got to be in America, in my opinion, to really get your money up, really grow. But to appreciate life, you got to spend some time in some of these other places. At least not in a US city. Go somewhere more rural. Because one of the keys to just happiness and a happy life, which I'm not even a huge advocate for, especially when you're young, but just having a peaceful life, is you need to get away from all this hustle, right? You need to let your mind calm down. And even if you're in a city like I was in Europe, whether it was Paris, London, Rome, you still get that vibe of just chillness and just appreciating life. And it's really good for your mental state, and it really just opens up your mind. Every time I go to Europe, every time I go to South Carolina, where my dad lives, where he has a farm, it's super peaceful, I am always happy I went there. It's like a mental reset. And there's things you can take from that way of life. Because for me, when I look at someone who's like, wow, this guy's genuinely happy, genuinely fulfilled with basically nothing. Like he has whatever, some job that he works a few days a week, and he doesn't have any money, right? Like all he does is have a few friends, maybe a family, and just like the basic normal life, just basically enjoying everything he has. Like this guy's fulfilled. He doesn't have a Ferrari, he doesn't have a mansion. Like it's honestly such a beautiful thing. And I realized the only thing that's better than wanting something is not wanting it at all, right? The thing that keeps you up at night is you not having something and someone else having it. That's what keeps you going. And that's good if you're optimizing for growth. You're optimizing for, boom, 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 trying to grow as much as possible as a person and achieve as much as possible. But if you want to be content and you want to enjoy life, you kind of need to zoom out for a little bit. And that's what Europe really did for me. When you zoom out, right, and you look at, what are we? We're humans. Whether you're Christian or, religious or not, we still are going to have 70 to 100 years on this earth. If you're religious, you think, okay, I'm going to go to heaven, so this is insignificant, our 70 to 80 years, on earth. And if you're an atheist, you think that you're here for no reason and our years are insignificant anyway, right? And that may sound like a harsh way to look at the world, but the truth is, nothing matters that much. And when you can take that mindset and really, grasp it in your head of being like, okay, this is insignificant, just trying to enjoy life. Like, nothing really matters that much. It's gonna give you a sense of power and a sense of liberation that you probably haven't felt before. So you may think that having that mindset is like, oh my God, I'm not gonna be successful. How am I gonna get rich if I don't care about things? No. You can look at it in a way where, okay, this is insignificant, it doesn't really matter what I do, but I want to live a good life because I'm only here for 75, 80 years, so let me get rich. You can still look at it in a positive connotation, but it's going to allow you to be more free, it's going to allow you to be less stressed, and it's going to allow you to basically weave through this gauntlet of life, especially if you're trying to become an entrepreneur, with a lot more peace in your heart and in your mind than if you just thought everything was the end of the world. So when you think nothing really matters that much and you get some perspective, you're going to be a lot more grateful as a person. And when you start, actually being grateful, start having, or appreciating what you have right now, that's when more positive and good things are going to come into your life. You're not going to attract what you want by constantly needing things, because going back to the law of attraction, if you need something like, I need this, I'm not going to be happy without this, I got to get this, then you're basically telling your subconscious, I don't have it, I need this, so I don't have it right now, I'm lacking this, and you're not going to attract it. The key to attract everything you want in this life is by not needing anything. Waking up every morning and be like, yeah, I'm going to work hard, I want to achieve my goals, but I don't need them. I'm grateful for everything I have right now. You need to change that need into you already having it in the future. I already know I've achieved everything I want to achieve. The future version of me has already done that. Why? Because I'm extremely confident in myself. I've achieved everything my younger me wanted to achieve, now, which was the future me. And I think that's going to keep happening in the future. So I can sit here peacefully and be like, you know what? No matter what fires happen in my life, no matter what goes wrong in my life, I know what the end goal is, and I know my future me, I have already achieved what I want, right? So you need to change that need into you being so confident in yourself, you having such delusional self-belief that you genuinely believe you already have it. And once you do that, you realize that it doesn't really matter what you do. Yes, you need to put the work in. Yes, you need to take the correct steps necessary. But it's basically fate that you're going to get what you want. And if it was fate, right? If you were guaranteed, you signed a contract. You're like, okay, I'm going to work hard for the next 10 years. This is what the contract says. You have to work hard for the next 10 years. But at the end of that 10 years, you're going to have the life of your dreams. You're going to have a beautiful wife, beautiful family, mansion, supercars, money, freedom, grandkid, like everything you've ever wanted, right? You would take that deal. You still need to put the work in, but you know it's going to come. And that's exactly how you need to view your life. That's exactly how I view mine. I was like, okay, I'm going to put the work in, I'm going to grind, but I already know that I have the things I want. And that mindset has served me super well. Because when I started thinking like that, 2 or 3 years ago now, I, was thinking, okay, I'm going to put the work in. I know I can do this. I've already done what I've wanted to do. And fast forward now, I'm living that dream life that kid wanted a few years ago. So stop needing things, start being grateful for what you have right now, and have such belief in yourself that you know that it's going to happen. This is going to give you a sense of freedom that you've never felt before, and it's also going to allow you to attract more things in your life. And it's honestly a beautiful style of life when you're genuinely grateful for things, because it's so easy to not be in the moment, right? It's so easy to get caught up in what's going to happen tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, next decade, or get fixated in the past. Damn, I wish I did this, I wish I did this, I lost this person, I lost this deal, whatever. But when you're genuinely in the present, you really, have just a grateful sense of just what's in your life. Like, you're going to be able to just look around and be like, wow, I have this, I have this, I have this, and life is beautiful. You're going to get a genuine sense of that. What you're in right now is what you prayed for, is what you wanted. So instead of being so fixated on all these things we're going after, just straight consumerism, you need to just appreciate where you're at now and enjoy the journey. Because just being honest, every rich person tells you this. I'll tell you this firsthand. The happiest, basically the happiest portion of life I get right now is looking at those younger pictures and videos of me, just remembering how I used to be, how bad I used to want this life. And that's what you're gonna look at 3 years from now, where you're at right now. So appreciate the journey, appreciate it right now, because the journey's everything. The destination is what it is, right? Like the supercars, the watches, the life, whatever you want, right? Like it's cool, you got it, nice. You get to drive a fast car, you're gonna get bored of it, or at least used to it in a month or so. It's about the type of person you become. So you need to appreciate the journey you're on right now. You need to appreciate that you understand that you're literally in the middle of your growth right now as a person, and it's the most beautiful thing ever. So what have I recapped so far in this video? I know I kind of went on a tangent here, a philosophical tangent, but I think you should zoom out. I think you should get some perspective. I think you should stop hating on people. That will serve you well. Take inspiration from people instead. And I think you should get rid of your need for things, and you should change that into genuinely believing that you've already achieved it, that you already have it. And most importantly, be grateful for the life you're living now. So to go back to my story, I was in Europe, right? And these things kind of came to me. Going on a more practical level, getting away from the law of attraction and just, my philosophic views of what you should think about life and how you'll live a happier and more peaceful life, let's talk about the actual practical aspect of being able to go to Europe. You need to have freedom. If you don't have freedom, if you don't have enough money or a source of income where you can transport around the world, you're literally in a jail cell, right? I made this video, a few days ago on Instagram, and everyone went crazy. Like, I'm not trying to rage bait. I'm not trying to sit here and be like, oh, jail cell, like you can't leave your house. You're a peasant. Even though I use those harsh words a lot to, actually make it clear what I'm trying to say. But I'm genuinely serious. You're in a jail cell. Think about it. What is a jail cell? It's a confined space. If you don't have enough money or a source of income where you can leave a certain, geographical location, if you really want to dumb it down, you are in a jail cell. So I don't know why everyone lost their mind. Like, if you can't leave a certain area, you're in jail. And imagine that, right? Like right now, you're probably 18, 19, 20, maybe you're 25, maybe you're 30. Like, it is what it is. You got some time to get rich, like, it's okay. But imagine if you went your whole life and you genuinely were strapped to where you made money. You were strapped to your 9 to 5, you couldn't leave, and you literally were just in prison your entire life. That sounds like a horrible existence for me. I don't even like to travel that much. But I need that mental, just cushion of being able to know, like, I'm not trapped by whatever I'm doing. And this is why being an entrepreneur is so valuable. I would rather, Mark Cuban said this, he said he'd rather make 50K a year working for himself than 100K a year working for someone else. And it is 100% true. People like to look at entrepreneurs and compare it to money of, doctors or finance bros, like people who make a lot of money in the corporate space. Like, let's say a doctor, right? What do they make? 400 grand a year. So what is that? 35K a month. So if someone makes a doctor's salary, like say you make 30K a month online, you go telling people like, wow, I'm making 30K a month. Someone will be like, oh, doctors make more than you. I'm a doctor. I'm going to make 400K a year. Yeah. But you have to be a doctor. Like, that's the thing that people seem to forget. I get to wake up whenever I want and live the life of my dreams. I have complete free will. I just drove to the gym at 5 a.m. in my McLaren, and now I'm sitting here enjoying this beautiful view, making a video, working. So, like, it's a complete different way of life. And people like to just compare numbers and don't understand how amazing it is to genuinely have freedom. So if you have a high-paying job, cool, that's awesome, you're making money, but you need to work 50, 60 hours a week. Like, you actually need to do that thing. Where if you're an entrepreneur, yeah, you need to work a lot, but what is working? You gotta click buttons on your computer, you gotta make some content to promote your product, you gotta do whatever. It's a much easier lifestyle. Like, I've worked the 9 to 5s, I've worked construction, I've worked the normal, part-time jobs when I was younger, and I'd rather work 3 times as long as on my own business than work a third as long in a corporate job, because I can't stand that. I hate it. And you also know in the back of your mind when you're doing that it's like you're working for someone else. You're not getting anywhere. Yes, you're getting your paycheck, but there's no incentive to go hard unless you're in like a commissions job. There's no incentive to really go crazy and push it because you're not going to make any more money. So people love to compare, the dollar amounts of a normal job compared to being an entrepreneur, and not talk about that if you're an entrepreneur, you get to live, live with genuine freedom. So if you're a doctor, right, say you have an office in Miami, right behind me, you can't leave unless you have your 2 weeks of paid vacation time a year. You can't leave a certain radius. Maybe you can go on a weekend trip, right? Maybe you can go to Georgia. Maybe you can go all the way to Carolina, right? That's 10 hours away drive. Like, that's not that far in order to get back in time. You can't just jet off to London. You can't just jet off to Cape Town or Italy. Like, you can't do that. You're trapped. Where as an entrepreneur, more than likely, you're gonna be making money just clicking buttons. You're gonna be making money typing on your computer and going on your phone. So when you're able to do that, you have genuine location freedom. Like I said, I was just in Rome, I was in London, I was in Paris, I was all over the world doing the same things I would do here. That is genuine freedom. And it's not the fact that I do that all the time, because I only go every few months. Like, I move around different cities and stuff like that, but like all the way across the pond, I only go like probably twice, 3 times a year. Maybe I'll start going more now. But it's not the fact that I can do that. Like, yeah, it is what it is. I get to go on a trip, it's cool. It's the fact that I'm able to do that. It's not the fact that I'm literally physically in a different city. It's the fact that I'm able to do that and I'm not confined to one place. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's the fact that I'm not in a prison around the location of where I make money. And I don't know how you'd be able to live while literally being in a jail cell as a grown man. That should motivate you like crazy. Because imagine, you know, growing up and not being able to go where you want to go, like not being able to have the things you want. That's why we work so hard, right? That's probably why you're watching this channel. It's not about, you know, the cars. It's not about, you know, the crazy crib. It's about me being up on Monday at whatever, 7:20 a.m. and instead of having to be driving to work in a Honda Civic hating my life, I'm in this beautiful high-rise enjoying the view. Like, it's about the freedom aspect. That's why we work so hard. I want to be able to have 20 million in the bank and just be like, you know what? I'm dipping to my mansion in Amalfi Coast. I'm dipping to my place in Cape Town, Africa, because why not? Like, it's about the freedom. It's not just about the consumerism things. So the main problem with that 9-to-5 life, the main problem with a normal job is that you simply don't have that. And just the fact that you can have complete freedom in this life should be more than enough motivation for you to go absolutely crazy on whatever you're trying to achieve. So what did I recap in this video? I recapped that you need to stop hating on people because it's blocking you from being rich. You need to take inspiration instead because your brain's a big safety mechanism. And if you keep looking at people like me saying that guy's a loser, that guy is a horrible person, which I hope you're not, it's keeping you poor. So I'm just letting you know. And the next thing I went over is that you need to get some perspective. You need to be grateful every single day. Life is beautiful. Smile every day. We don't get that much time on this planet. Yes, go work hard after your goals, but stop needing things. Be grateful right now. Stop needing things. Stop having these desires for things. Instead, you need to switch that desire into genuinely believing you already have it and just working. Like, instead of working, being like, I need this, I need this, I need this, work as if you know you're gonna have it. Still work hard, still grind, but know that you're gonna achieve that goal. And then I talked about you need to have freedom. You need to have enough money, a source of income where you can teleport across the world and not have to worry about not getting paid. Because if not, you're literally gonna be in a jail cell your entire life. So I hope you guys found this video informative. All I do on this channel is teach you everything I've learned going from 0 to a millionaire at 19 years old. If you don't know who I am, my name's Nathan. I got rich as a sports content creator. I made about $2 million now. And if you want to learn a little bit more about me, about my story, I'll link that video below, breaking down every single thing I went through as a 17-year-old broke high school kid, going all the way to where I'm at now. It's an 1.5-hour long video if you want to learn more about me. If you want to learn my business, sports content, and why it's the best business on the planet right now, which it is, you can watch my free course video below. I have a free over an hour long course breaking down how you can start your sports page for $0 and start making money. And if you want to work with me one-on-one, I'll leave some links below as well. I don't promote it on my Instagram. I really don't promote it on here because I'm super picky with who I work with. But I do have a program called Sports Creator Academy where you can work with me one-on-one and learn how you can get rich off sports content. We got over 50 members now. Our members have been absolutely killing it. My guy Fantasy Football Sav made $70K in a month in his first first year. My guy Fantasy Football MI, Ryan, consistently makes 10, 15K a month as a college student and bought his dream car. But if you guys want to learn more about that, I'll leave more info on Sports Creator Academy below. I appreciate you guys watching. Subscribe to the channel and make sure you follow my Instagram. I post on there 5 times a day dropping free game, and I'll see you in the next one.